here I am too. And before you say, hey, who are you? Hello, my name is Fu Manchu. And if you're wondering, hey, did that intro have anything to do with this video? Nope. But you know what? It makes me giggle, so that's all that matters. Anyways, hey, you might remember on one of my recent reviews, I believe it was for the Art Figures Riddick figure, I actually said the following about the Judge Dredd Art Figures figure. Now, the only gripe that I had with this figure is the following. If you take off his mask, you don't get his full head. It's like got a plug that plugs the helmet on, so I guess it won't come off. But you don't get a cool, unmasked Judge Dredd head, which, of course, you never see Judge Dredd's face, but you do see Carl Urban's unmasked head at the beginning of the movie, in the shadows or whatever like that, so you can see what his hair looks like and junk. But I really like Carl Urban a lot. He's one of my favorite actors, too, and I really wanted a Carl Urban head to go with this figure, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. But Art Figures has recently announced that they'll be selling this figure again in more comic book colors, like blue and gold or yellow or whatever you want to call it, and it looks amazing. But one of the things that comes with is actually a Carl Urban head. So at least with this new version, you don't have to imagine what Judge Dredd looks like underneath his helmet, and that is cool. It almost looks like it's the exact same head, but with, like, his ears fully sculpted and a hairpiece. It's what it looks like. It almost looks like you can take the hairpiece off and then put the helmet on. But that's so cool. The only thing that sucks is this figure's going to be limited to 300, so if any of you get it and don't want this head, let me know. But anyways, I really think that's awesome. Now, I contemplated buying the blue version just to get the extra head and a hairpiece, but you know what, I didn't think it was worth like $150 just to get an extra piece and get rid of the rest of the figure. I don't know, I didn't want to do that. So I just waited, and eventually Monkey Depot parted the figure out, and guess what? I was able to get the head and the hair and the blue mask. Apparently it came with the head too. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing off a couple of things I got from Monkey Depot that I think warrant a review, because you don't really see comparisons and stuff like that on these things. So, here's the Judge Dredd head that came on the original Art Figures, whatever he was, cop, full armored cop or something, I don't know what he was called. Now, not only is Judge Dredd one of my all-time favorite comic characters ever, but this is one of my favorite 1/6 scale figures I've ever gotten. This is awesome looking. I can't imagine a licensed Judge Dredd figure looking this good. But anyways, like I said, one of the drawbacks was if you remove his helmet, he has a horrible case of nipple head. I don't know what they were thinking when they did this, but I get it. You're not supposed to see him with his mask off. I get that, but what if he wanted a Carl Urban head? But you know what? I was mistaken in my other video when I talked about it, because if you look, he's got both of his ears sculpted. I remember when I got it, I remember thinking one of his ears, I thought this one was really small or something, but nope, he's got his full ears, it's just he doesn't have any hair. But the likeness is pretty good for an interpretation at least. I mean, they got his moles and stuff like that on his face. I mean, it looks like Carl Urban to me. Now, could it look better? Of course, but you know what? I really like this head, except for the whole nipple head thing. But anyways, I recently got the other head, so let's compare them, shall we? Now, since I ordered him just loose, or the pieces loose, this is how it came. It came, of course, in a little baggie. Now, as you can see, he has the hair, and he has the blue helmet, which is the same helmet, just repainted. So let's pull him out and look at him. Now, looking at the two helmets side by side, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to tell this on the camera, but obviously the gold is a lot golder on the new one. And, of course, the black is bluer, as you can see. And one of the other noticeable changes is the original one over here has, like, little scratches and stuff, painted on the little silver line down the red there, and obviously that's missing on this one. But anyways, yeah, they're the exact same, it's just the painting. Turning and looking at their sides, you can see that the original black one still has more scratches and, little silver things painted on. They're not etched on, like I said. They're just painted on. And as you can see, they're missing over here from the comic version. But if you look at that head right there, or that mask right there, that looks very comic, accurate. Very cool indeed. I know it's a little different, but it still looks pretty good to me. From behind, it looks like you have a black Cobra Commander mask and a blue Cobra Commander mask. And again, from the right side, you'll see that the original black one has, the silver scratches on it or whatever, and again, the blue one is very clean. Now, one of the things that I really wish they would have done on the blue one is paint the little white lightning bolt, reflections in the eye lenses of the Judge Dredd mask, because in the original comic, he always had them. So yeah, it would have been really cool if they could have incorporated them into the new repaint. I would have loved that. And in case you're wondering, here's the new head with the new mask. And I have to say, that looks pretty comic accurate to me. Now, I know this is the movie universe version, but hey, that looks like Judge Dredd to me. When you remove the mask, you have, yet again, nipple head. And you know what? It still looks like a good sculpt. It almost looks like the paint job is a little bit different on this one. We'll have to look at them up close here in a second. But the cool thing about this one is, and for some reason, for only 300 of these figures, you get a really awesome toupee. That is right. That makes this head look way better. Now, it should come as no surprise that this hair completes the head, and it looks so good on there. I mean, they did a really good job, you know, making the hair fit right on there. That looks awesome. I love the little details down there where the hair's jagged, you know, at the base of his, or by his neck there, and that is so cool. I love the little curl there at the front of his hair. This looks really, really good. And yeah, there are points where it looks kind of like a helmet head. But you know what? It does look really good on him. And I don't know why this didn't come with the original, you know, Judge Dredd Art Figures figure. I mean, they should have at least given this away with the option. Kind of sucks that you have to get it with the limited edition comic version, because if I wanted one, I would want the movie version just because that's what this is based on. If it was a full-on comic book figure, then it would be cool to have comic book colors. And, you know, you get the hair, and that's kind of cool too. But you know what? I'm glad that I was able to get it as a part at least, because this looks really good indeed. Now, I know it should be a no-brainer, but one of the things that I was curious about as to whether or not that hair would work on the original head. Now, when I first saw that they made the hair, I thought the original one didn't have full ears, like I said, and I didn't know if the hair would actually match, or you'd have to use the new head with it. So, here is the original head that came on the movie version. And now here it is with the comic book version's hair, and you know what? It fits perfectly. The head hasn't been tweaked at all, other than maybe paint jobs and stuff. And you know what? It fits absolutely perfectly, like I said, and it looks amazing. Check that out. Now, like I said, no one in their right mind is ever going to display Judge Dredd like that, but you know what? You have to admit, that looks pretty cool indeed. Now, one of the things that I think they changed is the paint job on the heads themselves. Now, I'm not sure that you'll be able to tell on this camera, but you know what? The new one over here does look a little bit more like fleshy colored with red and stuff in it. This one over here looks a little bit more paler to me. Now, it could just be my figures, or it could just be my eyes playing tricks on me, but it does look like this repaint over here does have like a more of a fleshy colored hue to his face, whereas this one just looks a little pale. But, you know, it's probably just my imagination, and it does look like maybe his beard might be a little darker too, but not by much. Now, one of the things that I was curious about is I wondered if they changed his eye colors. So let's find out, shall we? Here's the original, and if you look there, it looks like his eyes are kind of a brownish green, or at least that's the way they look here on the camera. So if we look at the new one, you'll be able to tell before I will, but did they change them? I don't know. They look like they're about the same. Now, when I looked at this one with the naked eye, I really thought he had blue eyes, like they changed his eyes entirely to blue, or like, you know, gray blue. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I can't really tell on the camera or whatever, but these, I don't know, these might be a little bit lighter, but, or bluer, I don't know. We'll have to look at them on the camera together when it's on the screen, but for right now, I don't know if they changed them or not. I can't tell the difference. Now, both of the heads, both the new one and the old one, still have the scratch on his neck, and look at the detail on that. That just looks so awesome, and all the little stubble hairs on his chin and jawline. Man, oh man, I know this isn't a licensed figure, but boy, they did a good job. Now, putting the hair back on his head, you will see what it looks like up close, and it looks pretty good to me. I mean, I think they did a really good job. Like I said, I love that little curl there at the front of his hair. I love all the little details. I think they did a really, really good job, like I said. There are moments, like I said, where, like that, I mean, you can push it on a little bit better than I did there, behind his ear. And then, like I said, I love this part down here, because those little touches there just really sell the head, or the hair piece on the head, and that looks pretty cool indeed. And over here, looks good too. That's awesome. I love those little details there. That is so cool. One of the coolest things about having that extra hairpiece too is that you can totally pose Judge Dredd now unmasked, something we never saw in the comic books, and that is awesome. Now, whereas that figure is really awesome, it is still a very unlicensed figure, and, you know, it's just Art Figures' version of Judge Dredd, and version meaning to every detail. They did a great job. But you know what? Like I said, it's still unlicensed. But a lot of the unlicensed figures that you can get look like the real thing, man. And that brings us to the rest of the review, because there's a company out there, oh, I don't know if I've ever reviewed anything that they had ever did, called DamToys! That's right, the guys who make Gangster's Kingdom, among other things. Well, they recently released their own version of a nude body. Now, the bodies are like, you know, like Hot Toys sells just a nude body where you can, you know, get the body and then customize it into whatever you want. And it usually comes with just the body and the hands, maybe extra feet, sometimes a head, I don't know. But yeah, sometimes when you buy them, you actually get a likeness of either a famous actor or a character or whatever. Now, DamToys has never made a body that they've released just as, you know, a nude figure. And this time they've done two. They call them MALE01 and MALE02. Now, they're both based on, oh, somebody you might recognize from a TV show called The Walking Dead. But you know what? They look really good to me. Well, I recently picked one up, and I picked up the MALE01, and man, oh man, was I happy when I got it. Now, I ordered mine loose, so I have no clue what the box looks like for these things. But, you know, mine just came in plastic all scrunched up and with the extra hands in a little bag separately. But anyways, let's remove him and see what he looks like. Now, I've collected a lot of DamToys figures over the years, especially since you know I'm a big fan of Gangster's Kingdom. Now, this body is unlike any one I have ever seen on a DamToys figure. As you can see, it's got sculpted muscles and veins, and it's called a thin-shouldered body, just like some of the Hot Toys ones are. But yeah, none of these details are on the Gangster's Kingdom bodies underneath their clothes or whatever. And as you can see, I mean, look at it, his wrists and stuff like that. You can see like the veins and junk, muscle, whatever. And that's very cool indeed. And the entire thing, look at his thigh there. You can see the entire thing is painted. They did a really good job on this. His thighs are sculpted, which is something else you don't see a lot of the times. And then down here you'll see his feet. Very cool indeed. And yeah, this body is really cool. It's very, very heavy duty. I mean, it feels like resin or something. They did a really good job. It's not like a cheap body at all. See the little screw hole things down there. And his shoulders sound like they're on ratchets when you move them. So it's kind of a real soft click, click, click sound when you move them up and stuff. And that's pretty cool too, because it'll hold any position you want it to be in. And I think this is very, very cool indeed. Now, when I bought it, I wasn't sure what the body would be like. So I didn't really care if I got the body, but I wanted the head. And then I realized, you know what, just get the whole thing. I just didn't get the box. But yeah, the likeness is what I wanted to really check out. Now, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, this likeness should remind you of somebody. Check this out. I still left the plastic there on the neck. That's how it came in the mail. So you got to remove that yourself. But check out this likeness. I think they did an excellent job. Because remember, this is unlicensed. But if this is not Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead or Rick Grimes, I don't know who it's supposed to be. And man, oh man, is this thing, you know, lifelike looking in person. I mean, check that out. He's got the really good paint job on the skin there. His eyes are so sparkly. When I opened this, I was actually outside, and the sun was really catching those eyes. And man, they're glittery. They did an awesome job on this. He's got his forehead. Check that out. It's got the little wrinkles and stuff in it. His hair is perfect. They got his nose right. They got his stubble. This looks like what is it? First series, second series, maybe Rick Grimes. You know, before he started getting longer hair and thicker beards and stuff like that. He looks amazing, and they did an awesome job. So I say we waste no more time and look at this thing up close. What do you say? So here we go with a super duper close up look, and here's his chest, and you can see the speckling and the freckling and stuff. They did a really good job. Look, he's got a nipple. There's been a lot of mention of nipples in this video today. But you know what? That looks really awesome. I love how they painted it. It looks so good, all the freckling and stuff like that. Then working our way up here to his face, because that's what we all came to see. I mean, look at the detail on his neck. Even through the plastic, you can see how it's painted a little, you know, splotchy and red and stuff. And over here, look at his beard. They did an awesome job. There's his mouth, looking very cool. Working our way up to his eyes. Look at that! He's got that Clint Eastwood glare that Rick Grimes has, and that is so cool. Very cool indeed. And those eyes look so good in person. Eyebrows look great. Very cool indeed. Look at the little wrinkles on his forehead there. Then his hairline, or his hair with all the little waves and curls in it. This is really awesome indeed. I mean, yeah, this is Rick Grimes, and they did a great job. Now, if you're curious as to who the MALE01 is, I'm sure you already know this, but it's Daryl, and it looks just like him. Yet again, probably like season 2 or 3, maybe Daryl, the way he looked in that. His hair's not long, but it's not the short hair either. And, yeah, this looks amazing. Look at the way they painted his beard. Looks so good. They did so good on this. I mean, look at that. They did so good. It's awesome. And like I said, when I opened it, I didn't know what to expect. I hoped that it looked good as the photos show online, and boy, oh boy, did it. I mean, this looks amazing. Very cool, and I commend them big time for doing this. I hope they keep making more because, you know, Walking Dead 12-inch figures are few and far between. I mean, they've made a couple, like a couple zombies, and they've teased us, you know, 3-Zero's teased us with a couple of releases, you know, that are supposed to have been out by now or whatever, and they're just taking forever. So it's nice to know that you can customize your own, and you don't have to paint the head yourself, because look at that. I think they did a great job on that. Now let's look at the rest of his body, shall we? Now, working our way down his shoulder there, you'll see all the detail in the muscle there. Very cool. It's a thin figure, but he's got muscle and definition. Very Bruce Lee body-esque. Very cool indeed. You can see all the little lines there on his arm, the freckling again. The entire figure, like I said, it looks like the whole thing has been painted with that freckling and everything. And I think they did an awesome job. There's his thigh. You can see it's not smooth. It has, like, you know, pores and stuff like that. Very cool. There's some freckling there. He's got a belly button. Very cool indeed. I mean, seriously, this is way better than I thought it would be. I mean, they really put in the work to make this thing look cool. And if you think about it, most of this will be covered up anyways. I mean, if you put him in the police outfit from the very first season or whatever, or a t-shirt, you know, of course you'll see his forearms and his arms down from here. But, yeah, this is mostly going to be covered up. So, that's really awesome detail for something that you probably won't see. Now, this figure is a pretty bare-bones figure. Get it, bear. Anyways, yeah, when you get it, I think the only thing that you get is extra hands. Now, these right here are both trigger fingers for both hands, and I really prefer the other ones more, unless you have a gun, of course. But if you don't have a gun, these are kind of silly looking on his hands. But he also came with, down here, just normal kind of relaxed hands. I guess you could put like a walkie-talkie or something in his hands, so that's pretty cool. And Monkey Depot was good enough to send me the DamToys Bane powder. So you're supposed to take this, it's venom, you know, in powder form, and when you take it, you sound like Bane. But you know what? This is pretty awesome indeed. So, there's my review of the DamToys MALE01 Nude Body and the limited edition 1 of 300 Judge Dredd repainted comic colors, blah blah blah, hair with toupee, whatever. And you know what? These are two things that I haven't seen reviewed here online yet, and I just really thought that somebody, you know, maybe somebody else is curious like me, because I really wanted to know what they would look like and if the hair would work on the Judge Dredd and how good the Andrew Lincoln sculpt was on the DamToys figure. And you know what? I'm happy enough to want to go buy Daryl next, so that is awesome indeed. And besides, the bodies really are really good. They did a great job on those bodies. So yeah, there's my review on that. And oh, great guys. Yeah, seriously, you're making me look bad. And that's not easy, because I look bad on my own as it is. So until next time, tune in for more Foo Reviews. Come on, felzbug. Come on. Yeah, I think with this video I hit my quota for the word nipple. I don't know how that happened, but it did.